am a 44-year-old woman recently widowed. My husband passed away at the age of 48 after we had spent 20 wonderful years together. During that time we married twice. Once 12 years ago and again 5 years ago. Each ceremony reaffirming our love and commitment. Just a few weeks ago he was diagnosed with cancer, and before we could even begin to process the news, he was gone. The shock and pain of losing him were overwhelming, but as time has passed, I've begun to come to terms with his absence. My heart now holds the cherished memories we created together, and though I miss him terribly, I'm learning to look forward. I'm not sure if I'll ever love someone as deeply as I loved him, but I take comfort in knowing he is no longer suffering. His final months were filled with immense pain, and I am grateful he has finally found peace. Last week, his funeral brought a bittersweet sense of closure. While I felt some relief, the sadness lingered. My husband and I had been estranged from his parents for the past 8 years. He had chosen to cut ties after years of mistreatment. To them, he was simply a source of money. Their affection and understanding were always conditional. Despite this, my husband had once been a devoted son and brother. He tried supporting his parents and his younger sister, Cindy, who struggled with alcoholism. Yet his kindness was always met with criticism and coldness. When we started dating, I saw how deeply his family's behavior hurt him. I encouraged him to prioritize his own well-being. Over time he grew stronger and the rift widened. The final breaking point came one Christmas dinner. We attended out of courtesy, but the night turned into relentless criticism of my husband's new business venture. They compared him unfavorably to Cindy, who had already failed at something similar. Unlike her, however, my husband had thoroughly researched the market and built a strong foundation for his business. The evening ended in a heated argument, and that was the last time we saw them. For 8 years they never reached out. Not even when they must have known he was dying. And yet, to my surprise, they appeared at his funeral. Seeing them again after so many years stirred up a whirlwind of emotions. I thanked them politely for their condolences but made it clear I didn't want to resume contact. My husband had chosen distance and I respected his wishes. At first they acted respectful but soon revealed they had something to discuss. Out of curiosity, I agreed to listen once the other guest had left. Cindy was gone by then. It was just me and my late husband's parents. They claimed they had considered visiting him in the hospital but decided against it, saying they didn't want to burden him. Their excuse rang hollow. What parent avoids their dying child out of consideration? Still, I asked them to get to the point. And as I suspected, they weren't there just to grieve. They wanted something. I told them everything had already been arranged legally and that I was the sole heir. When they finally brought up the business, I saw their true motive. They wanted Cindy involved. I refused immediately. That business was my husband's dream. Cindy had neither the expertise nor the dedication to be a part of it. After an awkward silence, they turned to our home. They suggested the house was too big for me alone and that they could move in while renting out their own place for income. Outraged, I told them to leave. Their audacity after 8 years of silence was unbearable. Instead of backing down, they accused me of manipulating my husband into cutting ties. When they threatened to sue for his estate, I reminded them of the will. Everything had been left to me. As I drove home, seething, I suddenly remembered something. A video my husband had recorded for his parents. We had prepared it together about a month before he passed. I knew then that I had to show it to them. A few days later, I went to their house unannounced. Though reluctant, they agreed to let me in when I said I had a message from their son. We sat in their living room as I played the video. My husband appeared on the screen, speaking candidly about the pain his parents had caused him. He described their favoritism towards Cindy, their dismissal of his ambitions, and their neglect during crucial moments of his life. He recalled how they refused to support his education while showering Cindy with indulgences. He explained clearly why he had chosen to leave them out of his will, saying that their absence in his life made their absence in his legacy only fitting. Finally, he turned to me, calling me his true family and thanking me for standing by him. His words brought tears to my eyes, even as I sat across from his parents, who were left speechless. When the video ended, I told them calmly that if they pursued legal action, this recording would serve as evidence of his wishes. Predictably, they lashed out. They accused me of cruelty for showing them the video while they were grieving, and even suggested I had edited the footage. Their refusal to accept responsibility only confirmed what I already knew. Their love for him had always been conditional. Accountability only deepened my conviction that I had done the right thing. I left their house that day with a storm of emotions. While I knew my husband's parents had treated him poorly, they were still his family. Yet as I reflected on his words and the pain he endured, I reminded myself that honoring his wishes mattered most. Do I regret showing the video to my in-laws? Perhaps a little. It has been a week since that visit and they haven't reached out. When I left their house they were furious, accusing me of deliberately trying to hurt them and threatening to escalate matters, including contesting the will. If they want to waste their time and money on a lawsuit they cannot win, so be it. Since then I've been too busy to dwell on them. My focus has been on work and planning for the future. Grief remains ever-present, but for now it has been pushed aside. Fortunately, my parents have been a tremendous support. They moved into my house when they learned I no longer had help with household chores. My father has taken over many of the responsibilities my husband once managed, such as paying bills and grocery shopping, while my mother handles the cooking and cleaning. Their presence has been a source of immense comfort. Meanwhile, my in-laws did exactly what they threatened. They contested my husband's will. My lawyer informed me and I wasn't surprised. Shortly after, I received an email from them accusing me of using the video maliciously. They insisted it hadn't deterred them because, as his blood relatives, they believed his estate and business belonged to them. Their argument, though emotional, carried no legal weight. I forwarded the email to my lawyer, knowing it could serve as useful evidence. My parents suggested I try negotiating with them, but I refused. I told them I'd rather let the lawsuit play out, confident that it would drain my in-laws' resources rather than mine. During this time, friends and acquaintances have reached out to express condolences. Some who couldn't attend the funeral came by to visit, keeping me distracted from my emotions. But one day when I went to my husband's office to collect documents, reality hit me hard. Standing in the space he had loved so much, I could imagine him there. The weight of knowing I would never see him again brought me to tears. Even so, my focus remains on ensuring our business thrives, a way to honor his legacy and the life we built together. 2 weeks after the will was contested, something unexpected happened. Cindy, my husband's sister, sent me a message asking to meet. Given our minimal interaction and the ongoing lawsuit, I was surprised. I considered ignoring her but decided to hear her out. I invited her over, reassured by the fact that my parents would be home. When Cindy arrived, she brought flowers and offered heartfelt condolences. She said she hadn't been able to express her grief at the funeral because of the chaos. Her demeanor was warm, a stark contrast to the selfish, loud woman I remembered from past family gatherings. She revealed that she had quit drinking years ago and had worked hard to change her life. As we talked, Cindy revealed why she had reached out. She wanted to warn me. Her parents, she explained, were planning to damage my reputation. They intended to spread lies online, claiming my husband had borrowed money from them to start his business and that I was refusing to repay it. There was no evidence, of course, but their goal was clear: to pressure me through slander. Cindy apologized for their actions and for not reaching out sooner. She admitted she regretted her past behavior toward her brother but had been too ashamed to reconnect while he was alive. She broke down in tears and my father stepped in to comfort her. Before leaving, she promised me that my husband would have appreciated the efforts she was making to change. That conversation gave me a new perspective on Cindy. While I had resented her before, I now saw that she too had suffered from their parents' lack of genuine care. Neither she nor my husband had ever truly received the love they deserved. That realization filled me with sadness for them both. I immediately informed my lawyer about my in-laws' plan. We decided to wait for them to act. Sure enough, they soon made a defamatory post online. I quickly sent them a legal warning threatening a defamation suit if they didn't take it down. To my slight disappointment, they removed it almost immediately, likely realizing Cindy's willingness to testify against them left them defenseless. Even so, they continued to insist they wouldn't give up. I blocked their email address. I no longer have the energy to engage with their antics. For now, I'll let them exhaust themselves. With Cindy no longer on their side, they've become increasingly isolated. I don't forgive them. But I do wish them peace, because people who cannot find peace in themselves will never stop spreading misery. From this point on, my focus is my life, my healing, and carrying forward the legacy of the man I loved. As for them, they will have to face the consequences of their choices. Without me,